everybody? It's Dave here from Vikings First and SKOL, and we are doing this week's Who Will Be King? Your NFC North Roundup show, and we're talking about the schedule. Virtually all of them are already leaked and out. We'll go over those, especially the matchups between the NFC North teams. All four teams open against each other, and they all end against each other for what hopes to be a marvelous, spellbound season. At least for the Vikings as they take their pursuit to the Super Bowl. With that, we'll get started with Who Will Be King? Let the battles begin. Hey there, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Sorry we had to delay it just 20 minutes or so Pay can join us. And as you can see, he's not here yet.
Still late. You cater to somebody, and this is how they do, you know?
Yep, I got that. June, Foster, how are you two doing?
We're doing great, man. I mean, I can't speak for Foster. I'm doing great. You know, Foster is, usually great because he has a lot of money. But I am doing great.
Yeah, I see Foster just sitting there smiling. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to the Tigers game. He went to the Tigers game yesterday. Best game of the season.
All right.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Extra inning game, walk-off, 3-run home run. Second of the walk-off was second was the second 3-run home run of Javi Baez's day. A very exciting game, and glad I decided to go. It's supposed to rain, so almost talked myself out of it.
Good.
Red Sox.
Yep.
Now, speaking of baseball, before we get into football, and I know everybody here is tuned in for football, and I'd love to see my fans here from Biggs to Raymond, SKOL Vikings. Let's go, Chuck, Jason, Anthony. Welcome to the show, and hopefully many more will roll in shortly. But speaking of baseball, what did you think of Manfred releasing Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson to be possibly selected for the Hall of Fame now?
Now, I don't know as much about Joe Jackson, but I think we all are familiar with Pete Rose and his scandal and all that. And the fact that he passed away, last year or something?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of ridiculous timing. Like, okay, now after all these years that he could have been eligible, you literally wait till he passes away to make that decision. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I would feel like from the family perspective, I would feel like it's a slap in the face, but I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, if he's able to get in, there's some type of consolation prize for that. But I'm sure he would have loved to enjoy his flowers while he was still here.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. I wondered, why wait until he's gone? But before, never mind the managing, his baseball stats were incredible. Yeah, he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, and it's just, I don't know, man. My first impulse was maybe his family was pushing for it, and they did it for the family. But from what Foster just said there, they took it as a slap in the face. So I don't get it.
Well, Manfred said it's a lifetime banning from baseball, and both their lives have ended, so there's no longer need for banning. They've served their time.
Wow.
It sounds inhumane.
Like a prison sentence, if you will.
Basically. So
I mean, the what he did was outside of his plane. You know, he was
right, he was
allegedly
already a
betted.
manager when he
He
was
was a manager for the Reds. That had nothing to do with his batting average and how many bases he stole and
how
how
many
many hits.
hits and the whole.
No-
Yeah.
Nothing to do with that. So I think it was kind of wrong.
Mhm. Oh well. I grew up watching Pete Rose and the Cincinnati Redlegs. They were my grandmother's favorite team.
And Johnny
And,
Bench.
and Johnny Bench, I was a heck of a crew. But it is what it is. Now let's get to talking the schedule. I'm going to switch screens real quick so we have some graphics. Now, before we went live, I made this. This was all the verified, confirmed schedules. And we'll start with this. I have since got all the full schedules, but you guys open up on the 7th at the Packers.
Yes.
Are you
425.
are you excited about that?
I don't care who we play. I'm ready for football. So whoever they to put on there for the 7th, I don't care where, who, I'm just ready. So
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting the in Green Bay game out of the way while it'll still be 75, 80 degrees out.
that too.
So they won't have that advantage of the elements of the weather. Obviously, we play better indoor / in better conditions. So I remember last year's game was a complete rainout. It wasn't real cold, but it was a torrential downpour, a very sloppy game. So yeah, I'm pleased with the fact that we can get them out of the way, the home game or the road game, out of the way as early as possible.
Mhm.
And I hate that the Green Bay schedule is under my profile. I mean,
Yeah, it looks crazy.
It's
I feel
just
so
how I
low.
set it up.
I know. I feel so low though.
Okay.
Ugh.
Hey there, Pay. Welcome to the show. Now,
What's up, guys?
as I was
Okay.
explaining, these were the confirmed games I had. Now, I since have all the full schedules, except for partial on Bears schedule. But the Minnesota Vikings open up in Soldier Field. How do you think that's going to go, Pay?
Well, before I get to that, it is. I want to side with Joan. Yeah, what was up with the placements here? you got. I'm over the Vikings. You asked me about how the Bears are going to do against the Vikings, and you got the Joe Foster. It looked like Foster representing the holiest city in America, Chicago. But let me. I'm going to answer the question.
He definitely looks like he's on 63rd.
Well, as Gladys is not Holy City, that's a different part of Chicago. No disrespect, salute to all my travelers and my conservatives out there. There wasn't no confusion. But Dave, week 1 with Chicago Bears, Monday Night Football, and it looked like, it's going to be in Soldier Field, right?
In
Okay.
Soldier Field. Yep.
You can't think of a better situation for you, Dave. You and your Vikings to open up the city, open up the season, and again, the holiest city of America, on the lakefront, great views. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take that L though on the way back to Minnesota. The Bears starting the season 1-0.
You keep saying holiest city. Don't you mean like bullet holiest city in America?
That
Well,
was the
that
joke.
too.
That's correct.
But it is what it is. I think it's a great opener. We get JJ McCarthy opening in his hometown against Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears, and of course Caleb Williams seeing the new Vikings improved front four is going to terrify him.
Man,
He'll be
that's
curled up in the fetal position by halftime.
that's
We'll
a
see.
hell of a week of
Mhm.
opening football with these clashes, right? We got to have a dynamite show that Wednesday following.
Oh, you got that right. And that
Mhm.
will be. And then from there, we go down through, and I'll pop up each schedule for you guys to talk about, but I wanted to hit up the big games, i.e. when we play each other first. The next time we meet, other than the middle of the season, big game is Thanksgiving.
Mm.
And as usual, and as tradition, when everybody plans their turkey meal and nap, at noon, you have the Detroit Lions hosting, what is it? Hosting the Packers.
Mm.
If I got that right. Lions host the Packers.
Yeah,
Mm.
11:27. Yeah.
So from opening the season to Thanksgiving, you close out your Packers matchups.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Packers at noon on Thanksgiving? And of course, I'm talking Central Time.
I'm all for it, man. I've been skeptical about Thanksgiving games. We were successful last year, but usually it's it's not a good day for football as a Lions fan. I mean, we seem not to perform that well, but this is a new regime. This is a new time and era. So bring on the Packers. We'll carve them up too with the turkey.
Okay. And then the next holiday clashes take place on Black Friday. We'll go there first. Day after Christmas, or pardon me, day after Thanksgiving. We have the Bears at the Eagles.
Hmm.
Pay, do you think you're taking a loss on that day?
Of course he doesn't.
You know, the Pope went to Villanova, so he's got to be an Eagles fan.
No, there's no correlation between being an Eagles fan and going to Nova. No correlation, because see, the Pope,
Oh Lord.
he's a wise man. He's ordained from the big G in the sky, right? So
Oh boy.
there's no way he could be an Eagles fan, because Eagles fans are not from big G in the sky. Eagles fans are the closest thing you can get to hell on earth. Those guys that root for the Greenbirds of Pennsylvania, they eat fecal matter when they win.
Whoa.
Okay.
They throw batteries at Santa.
They did
Yes.
do that.
There's nothing holy about a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Let me tell you that, Dave.
Well, then comes Christmas, and Christmas, we have the Lions at the Vikings.
Oh yeah.
As I was telling the boys, it's going to be a great Christmas present as we beat the Lions into submission on Christmas Day. Right, fans? Everybody that's watching, you agree with me?
I'm sure they do. They should.
They should.
Yeah, they should. But I'm just a word to the wise. We planned on, for Christmas as a gift, the Lions plan on handing out L's. Just to forewarn.
And we're the second game of the triple header on Christmas Day, just to let people know, which will be perfect. Absolutely perfect timing. And so we'll go from there.
You know what sucks, Dave? Unless something changes, I'll be working on one of those holidays. Thanksgiving or Christmas. I'm going to work one of them. And I'll miss it.
Well, we've all been there before, I believe, except for maybe Foster. I don't know how he made his millions.
In my younger years.
No, he
I'm
doesn't
an
work.
old man now.
He doesn't work on holidays or Monday through Thursday.
Oh, okay. And then we have a couple international games, which the Minnesota Vikings are partaking in. We discussed last week, but it's now confirmed. Minnesota will take on in week 4 the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin, which is full of storylines. I will be doing a whole history deal on that before we actually play, because Dublin was founded by the Vikings. And it was the Irish that finally kicked them out about 400 years later. And we're going to take it back. Then we fly down to London. And what's the saying? If it's brown, flush it down. We will play the Cleveland Browns at Tottenham Spur Stadium the following week. Now what's interesting?
I gotta ask you a quick question. I saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's gotta suck. I wouldn't like that. How do you feel about back-to-back games in
overseas? One, it's the NFL is wanting to push overseas games all over the place. I think there's 7 of them this year, and there's going to be more next year. There's going to be one in Paris next year, and there's going to be one in Australia next year as well. They want to grow the fan base. I'm cool with that. For me, I'm cool because both of those games are away games on our schedule. We do not lose a home game. The problem with overseas games is when you lose a home game, you're screwing the fans because they, expect at least 8 home games. Now, last year we had a home game over in London, but it dropped us from 9 home games to 8 home games. But as long as you're keeping a minimum 8 home games, I think the fans will be pretty cool with that. But we'll find out. And the reason why Vikings, i.e. the Wilfs, the owners especially, like going over there is we've got a huge fan base in Europe. From Northern Europe, Germany, the Nordic states, all the way across to England and Ireland. There's a ton of Vikings fans. Now, when we play the Steelers Nation travels great, and I'm sure there's tons of Steelers fans over there as well. But it's more neutral site games for us, so it shouldn't be that bad. Actually, I think we might even have the advantage, but we'll see. Now, the big deal about playing 2 overseas games back to back, and it's been done. Jaguars did it last year, but they stayed in London for that. Is that we're the first team to do it in 2 separate countries now, but a trip from London to Dublin is a shorter distance than Minneapolis to Chicago. Okay. It's not that far now, but the biggest problem is the logistics. The team has to fly over everything. They moved the entire weight room to go over there. They have to bring at least 3 sets of cleats for every single player. They've got to bring all the stuff, all the media stuff, everything else that goes with the team has to go with them. Now, where they're going to set that up, we don't know. I suggest wherever they normally go for the London games, that they set it up there and that they fly in to London first, set up that week of the practice, week 4, and then Saturday night fly out to Dublin, play the game on Sunday, and then fly back to London, and they're all there and ready. Now, the second game being over there in a row gives us an advantage. We'll be better adjusted than the Browns will ever be because we'll have been there for a week or 10 days or however long it is.
I mean, it's the Browns too, right?
Yeah, it's the Browns too. Well, and I'm saying it's the Steelers too. I mean, who have they got as a quarterback right now?
Will it be a bye week after those 2 weeks?
It's a bye
That's
week while you're over there.
it is. Yeah, it is the case. It's rumored. It is suspected that we're getting a bye right afterwards.
It should be. That's a long time to be away from your family.
Right now, and that's another thing. Do the wheels flip for the families to come over? They have in the past, so we'll see. T-Bass, if I Google it, you may be correct, but I know there is a large representation over there. So there is but I don't think it's a disadvantage for us. I think it's going to be an advantage overall because they're neutral site games. And if anything, I think the Vikings fans there will be louder than either the Browns or the Steelers. And it's definitely different than playing in Three River Stadium, Heinz Field, or whatever the heck they're calling it in Pittsburgh now. And also even playing in Cleveland, it's different. You don't have, the dog pound and all the obnoxiousness you normally have in Cleveland. So it is definitely, I'm cool with it. To answer your question.
Okay.
Accushire Stadium, Dave, if you were wondering.
What is it?
Accushire Stadium is where the
Okay.
Steelers play now.
Okay. Formerly Heinz Field.
Formerly Three Rivers.
Yeah. But that is it. And then we come down to the biggest games of the season, possibly. Week 18. 2 to be determined when they're played, which will be probably like last year, if we're battling for a number 1 seed in the NFC, or who's battling for the conference championship. But in week 18, the Lions travel to the Bears. Can you do that?
No problem.
I'm sure they'll be playing spoilers by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
they'll be
it's the last game of the year, so
they'll be out of playoff contention by then. So
No, we'll be locking up our home field advantage at that point.
no. Disagree.
It's been ordained. The Pope he's resting. He ain't helped the Bulls get the number 1 pick. He's saving all his energy, saving all his prayers for the Bears.
No.
Okay.
No. It just shows you that, not even the Pope can help the Bulls or the Bears.
No, the Pope don't want to help the Bulls. That's what I said. They don't want.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Want to help the Cubs, from what I gather.
Well, the Cubs are flying high.
They are, right?
He's a White Sox fan.
That's blasphemous, Dave. You might want to slow down with that.
Well, to get the Bears and the Lions game out of the way, because it's going to be meaningless anyways, then comes to the Packers coming to the U.S. Bank Stadium, and hopefully the Vikings will be resting their starters because we have the number 1 seed wrapped up, and we'll be heading into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's go over team by team schedules. Pay, do you want it over here, over yours, or do you want it under you?
Very freaky comment. No, it's fine where it's at. You don't have to do anything extra for me right now. So, team by team, I'm looking at underneath Foster. You got the Vikings kicking off week 1, Detroit Lions week 2, Dallas Cowboys, Raiders. Before we have our very early bye. I'm not a fan of the early bye. Never been my cup of tea, but it's okay. At the Commandos, week 6 coming out of the bye, just like last season. Saints, Ravens, Bengals, Giants. Again, we get to week 11. We have another division game at the rematch with the Vikings, and then the week 12 game that I've been waiting on. Philadelphia, the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 12. Hopefully, number 12 is under center as well, because we got to run that back. There's a fade that got to be ran for us. we got to run that back. Eagles, as we already talked about, Black Friday game. Week 14, we got those Packers. I believe that's the first time we see them this season. Week 15, we got the Browns. As you said, if it's Brown, flush it down. Not worried about that game. Rematch with the Packers. And before we end the season, Frisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions to close things up. Dave, I don't know if you really want me to you want me to talk about how I feel about this schedule? Alleged schedule.
How many featured games are there? Prime time and national.
Okay, so national games, we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them, Dave, between prime time and national. And I'm counting. Well, we don't really know about game of the week. So for those that are not old enough, the game of the week is the second window highlighted game. You usually see that on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider those as a national game as well. But they don't really have that listed yet. We haven't got those times on a lot of these games yet.
Monday Night Football will be one. Both of those to commit Vikings and Commanders. And then you have Black Friday is going to be one. There's 3. And then Sunday Night Football against San Francisco will be 4 that I see right off the top.
Yeah. And as you see the Saturday game with the Packers, that's another, Saturday games. Too. Yeah. So we're looking at maybe 7, Dave.
Okay. Gotcha. Picking the schedule yet?
Picking the schedule? Oh, am I ready to make a prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. How many wins do I see out of this squad? That is going to be tough. I gotta tell you, coming out the first 4 weeks, Raiders, Vikings, Lions, Cowboys. That's before you get the bye. That's not easy, but I'm gonna be conservative right now. May 5th. Early May. I'm gonna learn my lesson from the last 2 years running this podcast. I'm gonna be a little conservative this time. I'm gonna just say 16-1.
Okay, I got you. I think ESPN, I saw or NFL Network, one of their models ran all the schedules, and they have the NFC North as the toughest division across the board, which is, of course, we all knew that. But they had the Lions leading the pack at 10 wins, I think it was. And then it went down to the Vikings in 4th place at 8.7. That's how close they had us. So it had the Bears.
Not only as the toughest division, but we are also the most desired division. Look at all these primetime and highlighted games.
Just you wait. There's more. As the salesman says. All right, let's go to the Lions. Here's your full schedule.
He said 16-1.
Lions at Green Bay to start off with, as we already knew. And then you go through there.
Foster, you go ahead, because my screen is like really far away.
Okay. So it looks as if we start in our division and end in our division.
Everybody does.
Everybody, yeah. The one thing, even before the schedule or the leaked schedule came out, what jumped out at me was our road schedule is very treacherous. Nearly every team that we faced on the road this year had a above 500 record. The only team that wasn't is the Chicago Bears. We know that they'll be improved some, but Baltimore, Washington, Kansas City, LA always plays us tough. Cincinnati, they finished 9-8. And then, of course, obviously, you're going to get your divisional team. So Green Bay and Minnesota as well. So,
you got that really, I believe, the number one toughest strength of schedule.
Yeah, I would not doubt that. Which comes with the territory. And as we talked
last year, and you would have had an easier schedule,
and it would have been somebody else. So yeah, we will certainly no complaints there. But as Pay talked about, we are as far as highly desirable and getting a lot of primetime games. I mean, the Lions were the highest rated team of all of football last year. So that probably has something to do with the NFC North being gifted all that. But yeah, I don't like the idea of 10 wins. I think that is a far too large of a fall from our record last year. But yeah, I mean, I think they do anticipate all of us beating up on each other, and it's not like any of the games that we won last year. I mean, for the most part, they were some pretty tough, hard fought games. So I can understand why that would be the assumption, but yeah, we don't get to face the Colts and Jaguars and the who else
It
was
wasn't
in
like
that?
we faced the AFC South last year.
Yeah, the Titans. Yes. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tougher this year, but yeah, we'll see how things go.
Well, I see a few national games on there as well. You got Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. You have Tampa Bay on Monday night. You have Philly on Sunday night. You have, of course, Green Bay for Thanksgiving. You have Dallas the following Thursday on Thursday Night Football. So you get your mini bye between Dallas and the Rams. And then you have Pittsburgh, which afternoon start may be the national game. And then you, of course, have us on Christmas. So, and then week 18 is TBD. But Frank, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend. Who owns Frank? Is he a Packers fan?
Cheese equals, yeah. Well, he's not a Packers fan.
Okay. Got to be
sure.
Lions or Bears.
Did he
All
say
right.
SKOL? No, maybe that wasn't him that said SKOL.
Oh, he said SKOL, SKOL, simply keep on losing. Which I understand that. Vikings are 64-0? 63-0 when it comes to winning championship.
That's one way
in the Super Bowl era. Now, Detroit's up there too, but we'll see. All right. That brings us to, speaking of the cheeseheads, here we go.
Ooh.
Their schedule.
Ooh.
They open up at Philadelphia. It's going to be tough on the professional quarterback. I can see it now.
I thought they were opening up with Detroit.
Yes, they are. This is wrong.
Yes.
This is way wrong. Oh, well.
Everything about the Packers is wrong. I don't blame you, Dave.
Disregard that. They open up with the Lions. I don't have their full schedule. Twitter lied to me. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's never happened before.
I know. It is. Bag of Hunush, it's just because how I made it, and it's probably set up how we had it last year, and I've since changed it. But it's to make people uncomfortable. That's the reason. And but we know they have some national games as well. The Thursday night game against the Commies. They have Eagles on Monday night in week 10. And so much fun being a fan of this division, isn't it? I agree. So, and we'll see from there how they go. But they didn't have, and obviously I had the wrong schedule. I'd have to find a correct one, as many national games as the rest of us. Now, for the Vikings schedule, the one that really matters, we open up Monday at the Bears, Monday Night Football. Falcons the next week. Like I discussed, I hope Kirk Cousins is sitting there smiling as his team's getting beat, and he's smiling, counting his millions on the sideline. It'd be good to see. Forlorn, I think we're all here to see the Packers burn. Then we have the Bengals we go at the Bengals. Then we travel. I don't think that's right. No, Bengals at the Vikings. That's better. Then we travel to Dublin and then to London. We have the bye afterwards. And then the Eagles come to us. We have a short week after that, just like last year. We had the overseas game, went into a bye, had a game, and then a short week after that. And this time we're going on Thursday night football out to LA, where JJ McCarthy will meet up with his college coach, Jim Harbaugh. And Jim Harbaugh will slop all over him as we win the game. Big sloppy kisses, Pay. Big sloppy kisses. And then Vikings will go to the Lions in week 9 to start off that rivalry. They will go to, or the Ravens come the following week. Bears come week 11 to close out that rivalry. Vikings then go to the Packers to start that rivalry. The Vikings at the Seahawks, which is at 4:05, most likely will be a national game because of the storylines with Sam Darnold and all. It should be fun to see. Hey, Marcus, welcome. And yeah, you can say go Lions. There's nothing wrong. We won't kick you off or make too much fun of you. And then we have the Commanders at the Vikings, and then we have the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, and we'll see if JJ McCarthy can pull off a night similar to Randy Moss on his debut, which did nothing but score touchdowns. And then we have the Vikings at the Giants, and then we have Lions coming in for Christmas Day. We already talked about the big Christmas present for Vikings fans. And we end the season defeating the Cheesers once and for all, hopefully ending their playoff hopes.
That's a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm. We've got the 5th toughest, no matter how you rank it.
Yeah.
Of the deal. So, but I like the way it's actually set up. We're not.
Who's got the toughest?
Screwed to the Lions, dude.
Lions.
I got number 1. And they earned it. Hey, that's what happens when you win games.
Yeah.
I feel like our schedule, when we broke it down, our schedule was pretty tough. Well, in our mind, but like I said, those AFC South games that was a fun time.
Now,
it's always just in your mind. It's never as tough as you think it is.
Well, last year the Vikings were ranked with the 5th toughest schedule, and we thought the very beginning was going to be rough, and we went 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the strength of schedule can mean something, and it can also mean nothing.
Yeah, it's played out on the field, not on paper. So yeah, for
exactly.
Sure.
So, then we lost Pay again. Let me bring him back. Now, what are your overall thoughts going into the year? Now that you know the schedule.
I think all of us have our work cut out for us. I think we all have pretty good competition when it comes to the schedule. I was just really paying attention to your schedule, Dave. I heard the Giants, but other than that, it's a challenging schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to play out like we all think it is. I think we're going to give each other our lumps. I think it's going to be a tough fought division. I think for the most part, our success will be how we do outside the division.
And my thoughts are protect the fort. Obviously, we can't bank on being 15-2 every year. That was a lot to accomplish, especially given the obstacles that we had. I see some games that should be pretty I don't want to say cake, but we got the Browns, we got the Giants, we got the Cowboys, got the Bears. Kind of got to win those because at Baltimore, at Philly, at Washington, at Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I remember last time you went to Kansas City, you guys won.
We did win. We did. We are very thankful that Mr. Kelsey took the day. You know, not to say that that's the reason why, but can't act like it didn't. That's not how it played out. So
And their defensive lineman, their number one defensive lineman, didn't play that game either.
correct. Whatever his name is,
I forgot his name, but he was
Jones.
Jones was going through a contract thing, and he didn't play that game.
Yeah. And they hurried up and signed them after that. They said, all right, let's not BS and let's get it together.
Speaking of Kelsey, I saw a tweet that he's lost 15 pounds. And then somebody replied, I didn't think Taylor Swift weighed that little.
Did they break up?
No, they're still. They're still.
That would be big. That would be a big.
That'd be headline news.
Okay.
Pay, what's your overall thoughts?
I'm a little different from my co-host here, man. I don't care about no tough schedule. Tough schedule, record residuals, graphic visuals coming out of the Diddy trial. Bears in 4. Don't matter. Listen.
In 4. I like that's a nice magic number for you guys.
Magic is what we got going on. Again, now we got the Pope. I mean, not to say that what he's got going on is magical because it's ordained. Right. But I'm giving the schedule a letter grade. I'm going to give it a letter grade, Dave. I'm going to grade it rated R. The R stands for revenue because the Bears are box office. You saw all those primetime and in front of your TV type games. Bears are going to keep you all locked in. R
got to pay for a new stadium somehow.
Yeah, we do. R also stands for revenge. Week 6. The rubber match with those Commanders. We ain't forgot. Run that fade. Also, R stands for ravishing. That's what we're going to do. We're going to ravish that rectum because the Bears taking all ass this year. All 2025. Taking it.
Oh, boy.
Not like what's going on in New York. Not that. Bears are different. This guy here, man. Last one. R stands for repent, which is something I probably need to do after that last one. Yes. but the Bears are definitely going to have to do some repenting after they lay pause on all the ops this season. Make you think the rapture has arrived. That's the last R. I promise. That's my last. That's my last R. R stands for out of religious puns. But Dave, I'm 16-1 was a little bit me, pie in the sky. A little pie in the sky. It's not often you get a 16-1 team, but I do have faith.
You have faith last year.
I got that.
I do have faith that a lot of things are going to flow into the Bears' direction this year. They got their necessary lumps out the way. Got the necessary what do you want to call it? Experience, and we got some knuckleheads out of the building. We got real football geniuses on deck, and we ready to stump 10 toes down, all on the ops' throat in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Bears.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me remind you, you felt pretty confident before last season too, and went 5-12. Just putting it out there.
What's your point?
Bringing up old stuff.
I'm just saying the clock is wrong. Twice a day.
You said that wrong. His clock is right.
It's right.
The clock is right twice a day. So
let's try it again. We can, just like you can try it again. We're gonna try it again.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I'm still calling for 10 to 12 wins on my Minnesota Vikings and to compete for the division championship between all 4 teams. I see that. But what I especially like is what Kay Adams said a few days ago. She was asked, who's going to the Super Bowl? And her reply was simple. it will be J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings winning it all. So here's to Kay Adams. Yeah. With that, final words, June.
Hey, I'm ready for the summer to be over with. I'm ready for the fall. I want football here. I'm sorry.
Slow down.
Oh man, let's get to it, man.
Summer hasn't started yet. Let's relax.
Schedule out. Let's put the schedule out. Tee up the football. Let's go. Kick that mug off. Let's go.
Foster, where can they find you guys?
If you want the Lions coverage, you can catch us on Bleachers and Speakers. That's on YouTube and all audio aggregators. But yeah, we cover a little bit of everything as far as Detroit sports, Tigers, Detroit Pistons, of course. So you can find all of that on YouTube as well.
Outstanding. Pay, where can they find you?
I'm usually hanging out in these streets, these Chicago streets, checking out what's going on in the city, what motion is on with all these teams. But you can check out all of those adventures at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans channel, available on YouTube and anywhere you get those podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the such, even Castbox. We even there. Lots of good stuff coming from that channel, and not just Bears talk either. We got cover all Chicago teams, Cubs, sometimes the Sox, Bulls, Sky, Northwestern, even the other holiest football team in America, Notre Dame Irish.
You got a hockey team, don't you?
Sometimes.
Okay. I was just curious.
You can find him. You can also find him on 61st in St. Lawrence.
Uh-huh. Oh no! I'm not allowed over there. I can't.
Merch
over there.
That's merch. It's merch.
And as everybody can see, we don't have a Green Bay Packers representative. We put out the wanted poster for eons. We're looking for somebody who's interested in doing a podcast for the Packers to join us on this fun show. We need the man in the middle, the pivot guy. Yeah. And we haven't got him. But if you know somebody, send them our way. We'd appreciate it. And of course, I'm Dave from Vikings First and SKOL. You can find us where you are right now at Vikings First and SKOL on YouTube. You can also get our podcasts. We're associated with Fans First Sports Network across any of the podcast aggregators that are out there. We're on all of them. And if you find one that doesn't, let me know. I'll get us up there too. And we do tons of shows, different shows. I got Tyler coming on tonight at 8 o'clock instead of 7. He's going to come and talk about our schedule in particular, which should be fun. We have Sal Spice and Scolders and Spice. She's going to be taking the next few weeks off. And then, of course, you have me and Darren, the two old bloggers that take a longer look, a deeper dive into the events of the week. And I'm sure we'll probably be talking about the schedule this Sunday as well. All a part of the Fans First Sports Network. And you can find our writing over there too. All right. What do we say there, Pay? What did the Bears say?
We say holy bread is now Illuminati's crust. Oh, I'm sorry. Bear down.
June, what do they say in Detroit? Isn't it one pride?
Me and Foster refrain from that phrase, and it's hard to follow up what Pay did. So I'm just, it's just that's the best I can do.
And of course, we say, SKOL Vikings! I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you tonight on The Real Forno Show. Anytime. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been a Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans Bleachers to Speakers, Vikings First and SKOL, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.